Hello to my flamazing Franklin Academy artist. Welcome to Art with Miss P. You may have noticed I have a new backdrop since our last recording. It's a really interesting thing. It is a combination of Vincent van Gogh's Starry, Starry Night. You can see some of the Starry, Starry Night swirls from the sky right here. And Japanese artist Hokusai's Great Wave. So right here is the big Great Wave. So they took two very famous paintings and kind of combined them into one. And I thought that it would make a great backdrop for our art recordings. So I'm kind of excited about it. So let's talk about this week's lesson. This week's lesson is going to be all about the season change. Over Track Out, we transitioned from our summer season into our fall or autumn season. How do we know it's fall? Well, Mother Nature sends us lots of messages to let us know. You may have noticed that the temperatures are cooling off and you're having to wear long sleeves or a sweatshirt or a jacket. You may have also noticed that it's getting darker earlier. That's because our daylight is getting shorter, so our daytime is getting a little bit shorter this time of year. You may have also noticed the biggest change is in our trees. Our trees from going from green in the summertime to this beautiful, vibrant, warm colors of reds and oranges and yellows and golds and even some of those deep red purples. That's Mother Nature's way of painting the beautiful trees during the fall. Eventually, they will turn brown and fall to the ground. Maybe that's why they call the autumn season fall. So our projects for this week are going to be based on a fall tree. So let's take a look at the project that you're going to be doing for this week. Hello to my flamazing second grade artist. So let's talk a little bit about your project for this week. You're going to create a collage. So that means we're going to use a bunch of different colored paper. In the classroom, we're going to be using construction paper. So hopefully you have some construction paper at home. If not, then you can use white paper and you can color them. And I'll go over that in the video. Or you can just cut up some colored magazine paper maybe. But we're going to do a collage and we're going to create a fall landscape in the style of folk artist. Folk art is kind of a simplistic style. They do paintings and drawings, but they do it very simply. So here's an example of our fall landscape where we have a sky and some green grass, and we did that with two pieces of construction paper, one blue and one green. And then I took a bunch of different colors, especially those warm fall colors, reds, oranges, yellows, pinks, purples, and I even threw a little green in. Cut them into just shapes, just organic shapes. I didn't really stress about it. I just randomly cut them into shapes. And then I used my Sharpie and came up with these really cool, very simple patterns that made my trees look a little folksy, so to speak. And then I arranged them down and I glued them down, and I've got overlapping here. And then the very last step is we put our tree trunks in to make it look like a fall forest done in the style of folk artist. So here's the materials that you're going to need. You're definitely going to need some colored paper. If you have construction paper, use that. If not, you can use white paper and you can color it. But preferably construction paper. You're going to need a Sharpie to do these patterns with, some scissors, and a glue stick or wet glue, whatever glue you have at home. So gather up those materials. Meet me over in my studio and we'll get started on your fall folk art project. To my flamazing second grade artist, and welcome to Art with Miss P. So let's talk a little bit about what we're going to do today. You're going to need some construction paper, so hopefully you have some construction paper at home. If not, you can use just plain white paper, and you can cut your shapes out and you can just color them with markers or crayons or color pencils or whatever you have. But it would be preferable if you have construction paper because that would be the easiest and the fastest. But doing it on white paper and coloring it would be another option for you too. So the first thing you're going to start off with, let's put this to the side, is two pieces of paper, blue and green. Now in the classroom, you have a choice between light blue and dark blue, and light green and dark green. It does not matter which choices you choose, just choose either dark blue and light green or whatever you want. You need a blue and a green piece of construction paper. So get that. And you are going to take your blue construction paper and you're going to take your scissors and you are going to cut it in half, just like this. And you do not have to spend a whole lot of time drawing anything. Just take your scissors and cut across it like this right here. It can be straight or not, it doesn't matter, but you're gonna have two pieces. You're gonna use one piece, turn it, line your corners up with your green paper, and then use your glue stick or your glue and glue it down. What this gives you is a blue sky and green grass. So we now know where your sky and your ground is because here is your horizon line. So that's the first step, is to get your sky, your blue piece of paper cut for your sky, glued down onto your green paper. And then you're going to put this to the side. So just put it to the side. And then get your paper scraps. You're going to have a whole bunch of paper scraps. Now I've got two examples right here, but you want reds, oranges, yellows, pinks, greens, purples. Cut a whole bunch of paper scraps like this right here. Not anything fancy, just cut them into shapes. Then you're going to take these shapes and you're just going to randomly use your scissors to round off the corners and make some interesting shapes. So there's one right there. You can even, if you wanted to, fold it and cut the paper like this right here. So when you opened it, you might have a shape like that. And here's a couple of other shapes that I did. These scraps right here, this is just trash. So you're going to cut a lot of these out in all different colors. Think of those fall colors: reds, oranges, yellows, purples, a couple of greens, whatever. And then you are going to take a Sharpie and you're going to come up with different designs. I'm going to draw a line right here and I'm going to have a design like this right here. Now, you can look at my example that I'm going to show you and you can certainly use those as an idea, or you can come up with your own. I'm going to put a line right here and I think I'm going to come up, maybe do a shape like this right here. Little fun, whimsical shape. This is what folk artists did. They just did things really, really simple. They didn't spend a whole lot of time coming up with things to do. They just did whatever kind of came to their mind at the moment. And it's all very, very simple. And this, I'm just going to put random lines coming down with little dots. This one, I think I'm just going to put a line, and then I'm going to put swirly like this right here. So those are some examples right there that you can do, but come up with your own, or you can look at mine right here and you can see all the different kind of designs that I did right here. So the next thing you're going to do after you get your designs on your paper, these you're going to have a whole bunch of these. Take your paper that you glued down. We got our sky and our ground, so this is glued down, and now you're going to take your trees and you're going to just arrange them. You know, start moving them around to ever how you want it to be. You don't want to just take one and glue it down one at a time. You want to really think about how you want these to look. Maybe you want this one up front and have this orange one in the background because there's something on it you don't like or whatever. So glue them down, get them arranged, then glue them down. So I sat here, moved all these around until I got it like I wanted it. Then I glued it down. After you glue it down, you're going to take your Sharpie, and the trees that you can see the bottoms of, you're going to draw little tree trunks. And I did a little tree trunk right here with little dots on it. Disappears behind this one, and then I can see it. You might not see the tree trunks of all the trees. Like this one back here, I don't see the tree trunk because it disappears behind this tree. The same for this one, the same for this one. So those trees in the background, you may not see the tree trunk. So get that glued down. The last step is get your tree trunks on there. And I look forward to seeing what kind of folk art fall landscape you create. So upload it to Google Classroom so I can see your beautiful artwork. And until next time, friends, peace, love, and sparkles from Miss P.